A peaceful Thursday evening in Roma-Kastel, a square in a residential area of Stuttgart, Germany. A month earlier, in September, the scenes could not have been more different. Pro- and anti-Eritrean government protesters clashed outside a building hosting a cultural festival organised by pro-Eritrean government activists. The festivals are often used as fundraising events for the highly repressive Eritrean regime, as well as to intimidate members of the Eritrean Diaspora who have fled the country, according to the regime's critics. The government denies the allegations and says the events are cultural. One anti-government protester said pro-government members of the diaspora came out of the building hosting the event and began throwing insults at them.
Our people couldn't tolerate these insults, and immediately fights began to break out, using pieces of wood and construction materials. Then the police started to use tear gas to stop the fighting and tried to separate us, cutting us off and keeping them in the building.
Another witness to the violence shows how construction materials were picked up and thrown. Violence at Eritrean cultural festivals has become a regular occurrence in recent weeks across the globe, with clashes in Canada, Israel and the US too. Asked what the authorities are doing to stop the festivals, one diaspora member in Germany said,
"I can't say that the government of Germany has done all it can do. The problem here was that the hall was private property, which the government had no control over. So they tried to carry out the festival here, but because of our demonstrations, they couldn't."
German government officials said in a written statement to VOA it's doing all it can to prevent clashes between elements of the Eritrean diaspora within the confines of the law. Some Western governments have been proactive in shutting down the festivals. In Britain, authorities have prevented Eritrean cultural festivals from taking place. Meanwhile, the UK Parliament has called for an investigation into allegations members of the Eritrean diaspora in the UK are being extorted by the Eritrean government. Eritrean embassies in Canada, the UK and Israel were contacted for comment but did not respond. Emmanuel Ayasu runs a TV station in London that broadcasts news into Eritrea via satellite. The country has no independent media and consistently appears in the lowest ranks of the World Press Freedom Index. He says young Eritreans are beginning to stand up to the government.
Even though they don't support the government, they were not coming out in person to demonstrate. But now, especially the young people, they are standing up.
Habte Hargo is an expert on Eritrea. He explained,
"And the number of young individuals fleeing the country has increased substantially, I would say, over the last 6, maybe 7 years. And these are individuals who've been tortured and mistreated by the Eritrean government."
Human Rights Watch says more than 580,000 Eritreans have left the country as of 2021. Members of the Eritrea government have pledged to continue organising festivals in support of the government. Henry Wilkins for VOA News, Stuttgart, Germany.